place is so popular today. Every single parking place was taken. Well, it's Friday again, and we are in the town of Windsor, which is just to the east of Fort Collins, and we're painting at River Bluffs open space, which is once again on the Poudre River, the lifeblood of our area. But I've been talking to some of the folks here, and they're like, man, you really can't get to the river because if you can see, there's a barbed wire fence right here. So I'm gonna go check out the bridge and see what there is to see. Although now that I'm looking at it up close, there aren't any barbs on the barbed wire fence. I don't think I'd want to go traipsing around in that tall grass though. That looks like tick country to me. My guess is most of us have gone over to where the bridge is, because that's one of the only real areas that has a clear-cut view of the water. There they are! Hi. All the artists! Hi! Look at you guys! This is the primo spot.
Where are you?
I just got here, so I'm gonna have to decide where to go. Hey, you. So yeah, there's this pedestrian bridge, but there's a lot of mosquitoes here, and I don't want a repeat of last week. Ow! Stop biting me. The mosquitoes over there.
Yeah. I'm not surprised.
I got eaten alive last week. So.
I remember.
Let's see. Wonder, do you think they'd get mad if I painted on the bridge?
Well, give it a try. The thing is, for me, there's bikes that come through like really fast.
That's true. That's true.
But
I should have brought my.
It is a good view.
I'll check it out. So this is the view from the bridge. That's pretty. The only problem is, like she was saying, the cyclists come whipping around here at like 30 miles an hour. And the whole thing is connected to the Poudre River Trail. Let's see where this goes. Sometimes I'll just waste half my morning looking for something to paint. You'd think I'd be good at figuring this out by now. There's some more artists. Well, I'm still striking out for a good place to paint. This is rough. I was talking with those ladies back there. They were drawing the tree, but I'm not just wanting to draw a tree. I want some water maybe. There's a little creek here, but once again, it's kind of overgrown. Lots of mosquitoes. As you can see, there's the sound of water, but look at how overgrown it is. Where is it? It's lost in the grass. And adjacent to this is a cool old beat up tree. But I don't feel like staring at a bunch of condos behind it the whole time. Well, let's look at it this way. At least I'm getting in my walking. You can really see the juxtaposition of the old and the new here. We got our bales of hay and green tower, and then a bunch of condos all together. And I've run out of trail, but now I'm up to the road. And there's a big open view this way. Oh, but what's over here? Hi there. You might be fun to paint. And the cows are like, what in the world is she doing? These guys got the right idea. They're all in the shade. Like I said, on one side we've got ranch land, and on the other, a golf course. On a hot 90+ degree day like we have today, I have to constantly spritz down my palette. And it also helps to keep a sponge like this in there as well. So I let that settle while I draw. And I'm working with another big 14 by 20 to capture this big old scene. And I've decided I don't want to do the whole herd over there. There's too many of them and they're all dark Angus and they're all packed together. So I've just picked 3. I mean, you can see where I've taken out a few of them. I erased them. I'm like, that's too many cows. So it's all going to be, the sun's just about directly overhead right now. So it's going to be kind of flat. So we're going to have to get creative. Let's give this a go. I'm not very good at doing the sky washes or washes in general while I'm holding my camera, but we'll see what we can do here. So we got our sky color mixed up, we got our shadows for the clouds mixed up. All right, now I'm gonna add some water to our sky. Because if I do this on just straight dry paper, it gets a little too harsh. So I lay some water down kind of randomly here with the direction of the way I think the wind is blowing off the mountains. Let it soak in a little bit. Going with this, and you can see we've got that really nice movement of clouds. Let's see if we can approximate that. No, it's coming down a little too fast, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to move this just a second. And for whatever reason, this got loose, so I had to tighten it. I think the camera tends to make it look darker than I'm putting it down as well, which is kind of weird, but I'm using rough paper. Arches rough, and I think that's also how I get some of these interesting scritchy patterns when I make this. So as you can see, it's already drying. I have to work fast to get those shadows underneath. Let's see here. And I might have to put this down because I need a lot more control than what I have. Yeah, sorry guys, I'm gonna come back in just a minute. Okay, well that was crazy. So this got a little bit out of control here, but that's okay because there's trees going over here. I don't know, there was something weird on the sizing on the paper here. I don't know why it was kind of coming to pieces there when I went over it, but at any rate, now we've got our sky laid in. It's super dramatic, looks a little bit more stormy than what we currently have. Cows are still there, so let's get on with that. Okay. Oh, the breeze is picking up. You know what? Just a second. A little breezy, so I don't know if I'm going to be able to record and hold this at the same time. So I'm going to just do it step by step, and hopefully the wind will die down here in a minute. Yeah, that wind is still blowing pretty good, so I'm going to hold on to my umbrella, which means it's hard to hold on to my camera at the same time. But as you can see, I've put in my first layer of greens, and now we're going to go in and start darkening those. My cows were abducted by aliens. No, but for real, like, guy with a tractor came over here and they all just went amble, 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 amble. And I don't know if it was lunchtime or what, but yeah, So we're just gonna have to imagine the cows are still there. But as you can see, I've put in my first greens, I've got in my darker shadow greens, and now we're gonna start putting some stuff in here and make up some cows. Now it's kind of interesting to note that, remember how blue the sky was when I started here half hour or so ago, and now look, it's looking a little bit more like my painting. But yeah, now I'm going to use my Japanese brush. Oh, where'd this blue paint come from? Oh my goodness. Okay, well I'm going to clean that off, and then we're going to use this brush to put in all that grass. Now, Laura, I can hear you say, this is kind of busy, and I would agree with you. But this is one of my techniques I do to get big fields of grass like this, is I go over it, dry brush it first, let that completely dry, and then go back over it with some glazes. And you'll see what happens. Okay, well, I've set this in the sun. Now that I've got my first glaze over top of that down, and I put in a little bit of details, not too much on the cows. You don't want to make them super detailed. And now all I have really left, this is what I get for filming next to a highway. Okay, so all I have left is to do a few more little tree things and the shadows, which is what really attracted me to this idea in the first place, was the cow seeking some late morning shade. So let's give it a go. All right, so I put in the shadows, and I think I'm gonna call this good.